everyone, welcome to our next edition of Math on the Move.
We're going to climb out of here at about 500 feet per minute. We are in London about 1,000 feet above sea level.
Squishy Tango Ground Pack.
Alright, so we're cleared for takeoff.
Tell us about yourself and how long have you been flying?
Okay, yeah, so I'm Dave. I'm a private pilot. I got my license not that long ago, 2019 I think, just actually during the pandemic. Towards the very beginning of the pandemic, so only a few years.
Charlie is on route from Brantford to...
We're gonna turn that off for a few minutes. Okay.
Okay, so our second question then here. Our goal at Thames Valley is to show how math is used outside of school. So when kids go to school and try out different occupations, how can they learn about the math that is used? So what sort of math do you find that you use often as a pilot?
So, we do a lot, well, we do all kinds of math, and it ranges from the more easy math, which I might say just adding and subtracting. How much fuel do we need? Do we have too much fuel? How much more fuel can we put in? We do a lot of conversions between units, pounds to kilograms. And then we get into more advanced math. When we're training, we want to know how far we can glide if we lose the engine. So we start looking at ratios, we call them glide ratios, and how many feet per minute will we descend and how many miles or what distance across the ground will we track before we need to find somewhere to land this airplane, because we're going to run out of steam.
Right.
And then a lot of measurement. How far is it between our airport where we're taking off and our destination? And then even more advanced math, which is which direction do we need to point the nose to get to where we want to go, while also thinking about the fact that the wind might be blowing us sideways. So yeah, all kinds of math.
Okay.
Kristen, does it feel different back there?
It's a little bit rockier, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's different.
Okay. So our next question was about how you problem solve as a pilot, but you just gave us so many examples of how you do have to problem solve as a pilot, and it sounds like you're always thinking ahead in terms of different scenarios and how would you handle those scenarios. So do you have any other specific examples of how you use problem solving as a pilot?
So there's an expression that you learn when you're learning to be a pilot, which is stay ahead of the airplane. We never want to end up somewhere where we haven't already been in our minds. So that's a big part of the planning, but sometimes you can plan as well as possible, and it still doesn't go right. So our engine failure scenario is a big example of problem solving. That's a very immediate problem. If we can't get it restarted, we need to figure out how far we can get just coasting, and where we could put the plane down. So that is some quick mental math in a high-stress situation.
Absolutely. Was there anything that really surprised you about the mathematics involved with being a pilot?
I will be completely honest. I was surprised with how much I enjoyed it. I did not like math in school. I didn't think I was very good at it. And so when I was learning to be a pilot and I was doing ground school, which is all the learning we do on the ground, I had to teach myself that math because it was during the pandemic and I was learning from home. And I didn't think I would be able to do it. But once I started flying the airplane and started seeing how the math actually happens in action, I was surprised at how much easier it actually was.
That's amazing, and I love how you kind of went from having those feelings in school to then all of a sudden realizing that you could do math, and you are more than capable of learning math along the way.
It's fun.
It sure is. So then our next question would be related to school, and how did some of the math that you learned at school help you?
So even the most advanced math that we cover in ground school, like some of our navigation stuff and our wind calculations, knowing the basics is probably the most helpful. And I think too, if I don't know the answer right away, knowing that if I work at it and I keep trying things, I can remember writing things out over and over and then erasing them again, and just almost getting frustrated, but knowing that if I kept at it, I could figure out how I could get that right answer at the end of the formula. And I think school probably teaching me not to give up was the most helpful.
I love that, and we talk a lot in classes about that idea of growth mindset, and that it's okay to make mistakes, and we actually celebrate making mistakes, and we learn from those. So that perseverance really does help us when we are learning mathematics and using them. So our final question then is, this video will go out to every student in Thames Valley from kindergarten through grade 8, and our hope is of course that it goes beyond as well. But thinking about all of those kids, what would you say to students who are sitting in class right now about the value of learning mathematics and using mathematics beyond school?
I can remember being in math class and thinking, I'm never going to use this. And my teachers telling me, you'd be surprised, you probably will. And so I use math every time I'm flying, but I also use math like every day, sometimes without even realizing it. And I think it's obviously a very important skill to have, but even if my job didn't require me to do math, I wouldn't be able to fly, which I absolutely love. I found this hobby, as an adult, and thank goodness I was able to do some math, because I get to do something I love every weekend.
Okay, and I do have one final question. I know I said that was the final one, but I was kidding. This is the final one. I'm feeling like the students in Thames Valley would probably be very interested to learn about the charitable organization that you are involved with called Pilots for Paws. Could you explain a little bit about that to us, please?
Yeah, so Pilots for Paws is an organization that partners with dog rescue organizations. And so when there is a dog or several puppies, typically up in the James Bay area, that needs to be evacuated or flown down to southern Ontario, we get the call and we load up the airplane and we fly up there, usually to Timmins, and we pick up the puppies and we fly them either to vets. Sometimes we had a dog that was hit by a truck and needed emergency surgery, and one of our pilots went and got that dog and brought it to southern Ontario. And sometimes it's dogs who don't have a home, but are being adopted, and they need to just get to their forever home, but it's too costly to move them all the way across Ontario. So we'll fly up there and pick them up, and it's all done by donations. So there's no cost to the foster families or to the rescue organization.
That is absolutely incredible, and I'm so excited to learn more about that. And we will definitely post your website with our videos so that our students can have a chance to explore and learn more about that too. So Dave, thank you. I can't even begin to thank you enough. This is such an incredible way to spend this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hannah and I are absolutely thrilled. We're looking out at Lake Huron right now and heading towards it, and it's just unreal. So we can't thank you enough for this experience, for not only our students, but for us as well. We're so appreciative.
You're very welcome. Thanks for coming. I wouldn't let you do it if it was unsafe.
I just watched an episode of Mayday.
Oh, that was a bad idea. Why did you?
They went down.
Why did you watch that? Okay, so if you just want to rest your hands on the yoke, there is a microphone behind there.
Okay.
So don't push that.
Touch it.
Okay, so if you wanted to go left, we would just, that's all the pressure it takes.
Okay.
And it'll keep turning left until we tell it to stop. And we would bring it level like that.
Okay.
So the trick is to not worry about the gauge. But like look outside the window
Okay.
and sort of see where the horizon cuts across the center of the windscreen.
Yep.
On route traffic in the Signums area.
That's where we want to keep it.
Sierra, we are.
And if we were to be climbing,
Oh, you're doing that.
I'm doing that, yeah.